Hey everybody, welcome. I don't know how many people we have out there. I didn't even tell everybody we were live. Hold up, y'all. I should probably do that. This is totally just a chill live because I got to talk to you guys about something that I'm trying to kind of figure out where to go about this as I was looking at different things and I need some help. Okay? Welcome everybody. Let me let everybody know we are live. We are live. I almost said we are lice. No, we are live. We're live now. Hey, Bo. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Michelle. Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button, please. And thank you. Oh, so he's there now. No, I don't know. Girl, you need help too? Excuse me, guys. I still have this like residual cough. Hey, everybody. Cinnabunny, Layla, Kitty Coo, Sarah Lynn. This is going to be a really just, I need to talk some things out with you guys about this specific piece that I've been working on. So I'm supposed to do, and it's actually done. Like I did a pre-recorded and was breaking things some down, this content down, but I'm having a hard time tying in something. Like something is bothering me. And so when something is bothering me, I have to kind of talk it out loud. And I figured I'd do it with you guys. Welcome everybody. Vamp Dima's like, Cher needs to take credit for messing up her kid. Nikki, thank you. Spooky Fox, thank you for being here. Shout out to you, Jamie, everybody. Kitty Coo, thank you. I don't even think I told everybody on Discord that I was live. Let me do that. So I'm going to run some things down with everybody here just to kind of tell you guys where I'm at right now in my head. And I want you guys to tell me whether something makes sense or something feels off or something. Live now. And I figured I was like, let me start by saying that I was looking into Cher stuff specifically because of the allegations that what is it, MarieAngela King, Elijah's wife, made about Elijah being in like a makeshift center and whatnot and all of that came about. So I was a little curious about that. And then I found out some other stuff and I was like, all right, I got to run this down with you guys. So for those that are coming through, let me see if I can pull my reading stuff real quick. So Cher, welcome everybody. So Cher filed the temporary legal conservatorship of her son Elijah Blue Allman. She's claiming that he is currently unable to manage his assets due to the severe mental health and substance abuse issues. Okay. That story broke about 2 weeks ago or so. And so I know that they recently had court. BJ Investigates, that surprise witness, has been doing a really good breakdown of all of that. So Cher basically wants financial control of her son's money. Elijah Blue. Elijah is allowed to access money from a trust, but according to Cher, given Elijah's ongoing mental health and substance abuse issues, Cher is concerned that any funds distributed to Elijah will be immediately spent on drugs, leaving Elijah with no assets to provide for himself and putting Elijah's life at risk. That's what we know so far. Okay. The petition that was filed accuses Elijah's estranged wife, which is MarieAngela King, from whom he filed divorce in 2021, but they're still legally married, of actively keeping Allman from getting clean and sober, or receiving mental health treatment that he desperately needs. So, based on that, I would assume that the relationship between Cher and Elijah, or excuse me, Cher and MarieAngela is pretty contentious, right? I would assume. I don't know. So MarieAngela King gives us exclusive to page 6 where she blasts Cher for throwing Elijah into a lockdown facility in Mexico before filing for conservatorship. Allegedly, Cher got her son kidnapped to get him into a rehab, placed him in a locked cage instead of a legitimate, ethical operated facility. And I quote, I've always been a champion for the sober community and for Elijah's sobriety. What I am not okay with are establishments that exclude me, his wife, from being part of Elijah's treatment and hopeful recovery, King says in her statement. So she says, I am not okay with pop-up, makeshift, unethical scam rehabs which take full advantage of families in desperate situations and seek to fraudulently exploit insurance companies for services not rendered. MarieAngela tells Page 6 that she was not okay with Elijah being coerced in October into participating in alternative medicine regimens. So my sirens in the head went up a little bit when I heard alternative regimens, um, because, and I will go into that a little bit further, but this is what she said. She says she's not okay with being coerced in October into participating in alternative medicine regimens that resulted in his being forced to sleep behind a locked cage with 6 other individuals. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She's an addict too. Ooh, Lord. Surge is in the chat. You guys drop some hearts for Surge. So it's culty. Surge, look. So in Mexico, shout out to that surprise witness BJ Investigates, because she put this out there on her IG account. In Mexico, if there's a lot of Americans in Mexico that are locked into facilities. Now, whether they're ANEXOS, which is a type of facility where you can lock people in, there's also other facilities that can do that as well. There are no regulations down in Mexico. So as I'm looking at this story, I'm going to tell you guys, I couldn't help but wonder, what type of facility is he really locked in? Was he locked into? Was he locked into a narcocon, or was he locked into a anexo or a different type of facility? Because all Elijah would have had to have done is step in Mexican soil, and Cher could have been over here in the States calling the shots, and he's locked in there. We don't know. Okay. And there was a hit piece back in 2020 that a Mexican journalist did on Narcocon, the fact that, they're receiving money from public funding, which these facilities, they tend to do. They're in everybody's, they get into everybody's pockets, right? In this idea that they're helping with treatment. They don't force treatment, but it's also like very specific regimen, alternative medicine, which in Narcocon, it consists of vitamins, sauna treatment, diet, vitamin supplement, sauna treatment, and diets. Okay? Because they don't believe in psychiatry, right? So how do you sit there and kind of understand a little bit of what exactly was done? She says, Crazy Cat Mama says, we can't sit in judgment for Cher trying to save her son's life. I'm trying to figure out, and that's not in judgment of her trying to do that. I'm trying to understand what facility he was put into. If what MarieAngela is saying is true, you can lock people up in Mexico being an American under the guise of treatment. That's not okay. That's not constitutional, and I'm confused by that. Yes, Narcocon is run by Scientology. Their drug addiction regimen is not only physically dangerous, but it's crap. So I'm kind of wondering, that's where I'm at, Nikki. I'm stuck on that. Like, an Anexo is bad enough, because an Anexo is one of those facilities where anybody can run it. It's not licensed. There are no like licensed people to run it. Okay. They take you by force, they take you in there, and they can keep you there for as long as they want to and deem possible. There are people that are stuck in Anexos for like years and years and on in. And the treatment that they offer, it's very much prison-like conditions. It just can't. She did deny that in court and law, but listen, people deny a lot of stuff. Cher is from El Centro and grew up there, which is 15 minutes from Mexicali. The only thing to do is cross to Mexicali for good food and fun. I'm more than sure that she has a lot of friends and ties to Mexico. Well, true. And also her ties to Scientology. Sonny Bono was a Scientologist. I believe my understanding, based on the article that I read in 1999, he was trying to get out of Scientology before his death. She didn't even show up to court. You're absolutely right. She didn't. Elijah was there. Elijah looked great in court. He looked like he had some sunlight to him. His wife was there, but Cher didn't bother to show up to court. So the judge didn't rule in her favor. Yeah, Sonny Bono was a Scientologist. He was a Scientologist. Cher and Sonny were married. Okay. And then Cher also dated Tom Cruise. There was they had like a little fling going on. That's been noted as well. Ooh, sorry, y'all. I'm spitting. Give me one sec. Let me get a napkin. That's been noted as well. So I'm kind of wondering, we can't really tell. We can't really say that it wasn't a narcocon or that it wasn't a whatchamacallit, an anexo or anything. Someone I grew up with now runs in, how do you say that? So I don't know how to say that. In Puerto Vallarta, a clinic. Flossie, can you explain it a little bit? That could be what they mean by alternative medicine. Gotcha. So that is like an alternative medication supervision for drug treatment? Let me know. Yeah, Cher and Tom Cruise were a thing, and they still talk to each other. Apparently, there was another article out there that said that she still talks to him. I know I'm spitting. Sorry, y'all. Is it a Flossie? Is it like a psychedelic, or explain it to me in the chat what it is? Okay, Tinkle. Thank you. You think Cher has spoken about Scientology prior and would never put him in anything? Well, what do you think? Do you think Angela Marie is wrong for, excuse me, MarieAngela is wrong for saying the things that she's saying? Okay, perfect. Substance that are used to treat PTSD and addiction. Oh, I'm trying to find out if there's anything. Is it similar to peyote? Okay, thank you, Emily. Thank you. Similar to peyote. Why are we talking about his rehab when he's not in rehab anymore and she's not forcing him to rehab? It's something that came up. I was looking into it. This is why I'm talking about it. Um, yeah, this is why I'm curious. I'd like to know what kind of a rehab he was in. Based on the comments that she made with whatchamacallit, page 6, yeah, it made me think about that. And this is why I wanted to talk. I mean, I hope that's okay with you. It's alternative medicines methods like VR. Shari, but we don't know. I don't listen. Listen, I know Cher the celebrity. I know Cher the celebrity. I don't know Cher the woman. I don't know Cher the person. This is why I don't get like ingrained with celebrities. No offense, but I just don't. I don't like. I know Cher the celebrity, but I don't know her personally. So why am I gonna go and defend Cher just like I wouldn't defend R. Kelly because I know R. Kelly the celebrity, but I don't know R. Kelly the man. I mean, that's just my thought. So I personally, respectfully, I think that I could talk about this. Um, yeah, thank you, Nikki. We're just exploring the issue. Absolutely. Thank you. She really badmouthed Elijah's father. Robin says, because abducting someone against their will, internationally trafficking them. That is like you took him under the pretense. We don't know again, but this is what MarieAngela is saying. Okay. And then locking them up and torturing him in the chamber is a crime. Under the guise of treatment. I'm just saying. Hey, Wim. Oh, wow. Because his wife got him out. She thanked everyone for helping her get him back into the country. See, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know her as a woman to even say for a fact that she hates Scientology. What I did see was very much concerning, in my opinion, and I think it's a topic to be explored. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let's see. Thank you. It makes people trip for hours. Shout out to Tinkle Tits. Tinkle Tits, I like your profile pic. It says it makes sense if Cher is in Scientology. She didn't want medical control over her son. Just financial from my understanding. Yes, Petty. So when BJ Investigates went over the documents, she wasn't asking for like medical anything. She was asking for all his assets, financial stuff. And I'm just wondering too, because it's like, well, I mean, I know the lady has a lot of money, but does he have any? I don't think Elijah has any children, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Respectfully, I think the ANEXOS are a nothing burger. It's the U.S. commitment laws that are the problem. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, y'all. Thank you for stopping by real quick. Thank you. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. Is she the closeted Scientologist like Jada and Will? Ooh, Jada and Will? That's a good see, and this is why she wasn't named a Scientologist by Leah Remini, I don't think, but it wouldn't surprise me if she was like a closeted. It doesn't. And to be clear, why this is concerning. So this is just a blog. This is from what is it called? Rehab, Baja Rehab. And this is kind of like giving you an idea is can you get someone into drug treatment against their will? And this is in Mexico. They said yes, absolutely. That is the good news. The bad news is most states do not allow this type of help in the ones that do is very difficult to achieve. That's why with the new fentanyl crisis, treatment centers just south of the border, 30 minutes away from San Diego, are thriving. Mexican law is much different than in California. California has a law called we know the 5150 law where somebody can commit somebody under very strict circumstances and even that only gives the person a 2-day window. In Mexico, Mexican law applies to Americans as well. Pay attention to that. Family members have conservatorship rights automatically. What that means is a family member is allowed to place an addicted loved one in the care of a treatment center without consent. On top of that, excuse me, most of the treatment centers south of the border do not allow clients to leave until the completion of their program. This can be anywhere from 30 days to a year. From 30 days to a year. The situation is saving lives and giving family members control for once. In many cases, people who struggle with substance abuse have difficulty recognizing and accepting that a real problem exists and that the professional help is absolutely necessary. Even if an addicted person knows that he has a problem with the drug addiction, he may still be unwilling to accept treatment for it. Professional treatment for a substance use disorder and or any co-occurring mental health concerns is the most successful way to overcome addiction and experience lasting wellness. Okay, so if y'all want to look at that article, you can find it at bajarehab.com and it tells you a little bit about how you can figure out how to get people into treatment. Mm. And thank you, Win, for gifting memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Sonny Bono, who was married to Cher for like 12 years, he was a known Scientologist. He was a Scientologist. I mean, are there closeted Scientologists? Maybe. I don't know. Spooky says, if my intentions were with my child's well being so much so I escalated to the courts for help, I'd be showing up for my child and for those court appearances. Spooky, right. Why didn't she show up to court? Did she have to tour? Like, I'm just I'm just saying to give a difference of opinion. And I know some of y'all are, when I talk about celebrities, it's always very much like a slippery slope because you either have people that are like fans of certain folks, and I get it, but I think for me, it's like it's a person and their shit is out there and we're allowed to have an opinion about it. And I don't know them personally to say that they 100% for a fact wouldn't do or would do something. We just don't know. She knew she didn't have a chance in court, says Sarah Lynn. Is that why she didn't show up? Actions versus words. Right. If you don't want help, it's a waste. And that's the thing, is like I'm not saying that Elijah is like a saint or anything like that, but yo, like both Cher and Elijah's father, Greg, um, uh, uh, how do I say this? Cher came from like generational of crazy ass drugs, and I mean, she's disclosed her own drug use, right? So it's kind of like, did that take over in part of her mothering? His life was cut short. He also suffered from addiction. So it's generational. So I get it. Scientology destroys people's lives as they cause many people. Yeah. You're very much right about that. We can't force treatment into people. They relapse 7 times before being permanently sober and achieving it. Which one, Nikki? Where did they get it wrong? Tell me. On the Mexico, on the Baja California one, or which one? Cher dated Tom Cruise too. I don't know if you. Yeah, I did. I did mention that. Yeah, wasn't he just in court? So he's still not. No, he's not in a facility or anything like that. No. So this is why I came here today. I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of where my mind was at. I was working on this piece, and I'm stuck because I really would like to know what facility he was in. I know that that's maybe a privacy thing, for him, and I'm not going to dig into that per se, but it would at least let us know a little bit about the kind of treatment he was receiving, because allegedly, based on what MarieAngela said to Page Six, he was in a locked-in facility. He was and I quote, "I'm not okay with pop-up makeshift unethical scam rehabs which take full advantage of families in desperate situations and seek to fraudulently exploit insurance companies for services not rendered." So she was not okay with him being coerced in October into participating in alternative medicine regimens that resulted in his being forced to sleep behind a locked cage with 6 other individuals. It's important to share that MarieAngela and Elijah have been married for 10 years. So, and then Elijah Blue on his IG shared a very interesting post. And I was like, he tagged this account, okay? Imprisonment via conservatorship, and this account has the Mexican flag on it, okay? And then it shows this picture of these men right here, right? And then it says there are around 2,000 anexos in Mexico. Foreign U.S. Mexican nationals are being horrifically abused in these anexos, and in some cases are being held for years. Many of these facilities are illegal. So I was like, well, is it an anexo? Is it uh, a narcocon? Is it a what type of facility is it? Because, and even if it's in Mexico, who's really regulating it? Thank you, Wim, for telling people to hit the like button, please, and thank you. Thank you for answering. I just watched BJ's video on him, and I'm so confused when I saw the video title. Yeah, no. And I'm trying to understand what facility he was in Mexico. I'm just wondering, how the hell are people doing this to adults? That's what I want to know. The guy is not in his 20s, even in his 20s, right? He's 47. He's 47 and he's being coerced to be in treatment centers. I want to know whether it was a Narconon. Is it Narconon? I think that's how you say it. Narconon. Thank you. Or an Anexo, which is, I don't know if there's a difference, but to me, it's like, I don't know. They're not regulated. It's funny. And then let me tell you guys what happened. So I was looking at Anexos, right? This is what really gave me the creeps. Let me tell you. I was looking at Anexos, and tell me why, when I was looking at Anexos, you have a Narconon blog writing about what's the difference between an annex and a rehabilitation center. And actually, it's written in Spanish, but I translated it in English. Why would a Narconon write an article about what's the difference between an annexo and a rehabilitation center? What would be the intent behind that? So I was reading it and I said, wait a minute, what? They said, surely you have heard of an annex or annexing a person. It is very common, at least in our country, to use these terms when referring to seeking help for a person with an addictions problem. It is very different to talk about an annex or a rehabilitation center or clinic. We should know what the difference is. An annex and a rehabilitation center, these places are known as annexes or farms, began to be established in our country in the 80s. People are generally taken to these facilities by force and are there against their wills. Apart from being illegal, this goes totally against the most fundamental human right. Isn't it interesting that a narconon is going to write about what is against fundamental human rights? Typically, these centers claim to run a 12-step AA program and Alcoholics Anonymous program. However, the same World Organization of Alcoholic Anonymous disclaims the practices carried out in these sites. Illegal deprivation of liberties, beatings, humiliation, and humane living conditions are very common in these places. These types of centers are very common in our country, and the model has been exported to Central and South America. In addition to the conditions in which people find themselves within this place, what is even more serious is that these places rarely cause benefit for those who are there. On the contrary, many people leave resentful and are no longer willing to accept or accept more help, even if it's a standard rehabilitation center with an established program that gives results. So, yada, yada, yada. This Scientology blog is talking about what is the difference between one or the other. This is giving them, this is what they're giving promotion to their site, the Narcocon, okay, the Narcocon. Rehabilitation clinic is a space designed to help people through a real process to free themselves from addiction problems. This is what it looks like. Now, mind you, while you're there, you're reading Scientology material, you're taking supplements, and you're doing sauna treatments. That's what you're doing. So while you're trying to empty up your mind and be drug free and all that other stuff, there's no professionals because they don't believe in psychiatry. So keep that in mind. And I'm not saying that you need psychiatry for, to address any drugs, but it would be good to have somebody with a substance abuse background to help through this. You know, it's a continent. You've never heard of this. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yep, no, I agree. This is about believing or accusing people of shit people said. It's about investigating facts, situations that involve illegal actions or problematic at best for people who care about human rights. I agree with you, 877. It truly is, but like it's crazy as I was looking into what is the difference, but like what are annexos? Why is this blog trying to establish the difference when they're also not necessarily believing in psychiatry. They don't believe in evidence-based models that could help people. Here, they even write, it is important to mention that Narcocon program is 100% natural. No substitute medications are given. The only thing we would be doing is transferring the dependency from drugs or alcohols to that of a medicine, a medication. Then follows detoxification. This is done through a sauna bath with established process from start to finish. The intention, which by the way, they've had some people die in some of these centers. I did look into that as well. The intention of detoxification is to remove drug residue trapped into the tissues that are often what causes physical dependency. During this stage, the person continues to take vitamins and minerals. This helps the body to remove to this these help the body return to how it was before consuming. So I don't know. And so are we ever really gonna that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, well, am I ever really gonna know if this man was in a Narcocon facility or whether he was in an EXO or where he was exactly? We don't know. Yeah, that's purification rundown. There you go. Isn't that also part of Scientology too? So it's just so confusing. REM Arts. Yeah, that's what I picked up. It's Scientology throwing shade so they can get the business. Whereas for all we know, since it's not regulated, how do we know that they're not locking people there up too? We don't know that. We don't know that. So this is why I got stuck and I said, I'm just gonna go live about this because I was working on a recording and I said, I don't think I can really finish this because I just have more questions and I would rather just kind of process this with you guys than just to do a live video. Yes, you're right, Tia Loca. You're right. I can see both of them pointing the finger at each other and being like, they're the bad guys. Right, right. But mind you, what was so crazy is I even went back to like I was going back to Twitter. I was going back to, let me show you guys. So these narcons were like following pages. This was like an old tweet from what, 2010? And the person says this in Spanish. It says, no entiendo por qué me siguen. Narco con México, 100% natural drug and alcohol education and rehabilitation program. Julieta, well, this was back in 2010, said, I don't understand why Mexico is following me. So Narcocon Mexico was following various, and I picked up on that when I was looking at Twitter, that they were just following various like tweets, like various people, just to, I guess, give them some level of clout in their Twitter, Narcocon Mexico, and they're also receiving money too. So just kind of keep that in mind. So then I was even looking back, and this is one of Aaron's old videos. I think it's like 14 years old. Listen to this, and this is how much information is out there.
Yeah. To the best of your knowledge, were any of the staff members who were working at the Narconon doing any drugs while you were there?
About 75% of them.
Of the staff members who themselves had previously graduated the Narconon program, were engaging in drugs with the students?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay, but that was not hard for you to find out or to observe?
No, it was everywhere.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm still friends with quite a few of those staff members that were on there. And, I mean, I know a lot of the students that were in my program.
And are we talking?
Yeah, Narconon. Sorry, y'all. I keep saying it the other way. Thank you, Serge. And thank you, Tico. It's like Al-Anon, Narconon. They definitely took that piece from Al-Anon, don't you think?
Or something harder?
Liquor, the lauded.
What is that? Is that a pill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steroids, weed.
Okay. Cocaine?
Heroin.
Heroin? Okay.
Coke, it wasn't the predominant one, but.
Okay. I'm just checking because I have a knowledge of another Narconon facility that the staff members were constantly getting in trouble for doing.
It wasn't hard to get drugs
with the students.
Yeah.
I can understand students who are trying to rehab sneaking drugs. No, I mean, it's a little harder to understand the staff members doing drugs with the students.
Yeah, no, if you had money, you could get the staff members doing anything. My personal thing is I didn't want to do drugs. I mean, there was no joy in doing drugs in rehab. Like, there was no chicks. It was like boring as shit. You had a curfew. Why would I want to do coke and stay up all night with a bunch of dudes?
You could tell how old these videos are. I mean, look at, this is back when Aaron was like sitting down with guests and bringing guests on. Like, this is a pretty old video, and I was looking into this. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Narconon, hold up. What did you say? Hold up. It makes sense, though. Narconon, Al-Anon. The staff was using heroin. This is why I said, I was like, you can't really, I'd like to know what kind, that's where I'm stuck. I'd like to know what kind of facility Elijah was in. Like, is there a connection between any of these facilities? What if he was just in an ANEXO? Let's just say that that's the case. And it was just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just that, or could it have been one of those Narconons running by Scientology? We don't know. You wouldn't miss it for the world. You just don't know. But both of them, because they both is bad. Two sides of, you're absolutely right. Because listen, they're saying, well, we follow different rules. Narconon does, and I don't know. I wouldn't even say holistic, but this is what they're saying, right? What they're preaching. Alternative medicines, whatever that is. And so then let me tell you, and this is why I fear and I feel like the Mexican people are targeted by Scientology in a certain way. And I said this before, is because it took them. So Narconon has been down there for a couple years, right? And this journalist by the name of Miguel Ángel de Posteco Rodriguez did a hit piece in MX, You guys check it out. You could translate it in Spanish through Google, right? And this was back in 2022, where he says that the DIF, which is, what is it? I wrote it down somewhere. It's like one of the government institutions that funds, anyways, their government programming for families. Basically, Scientology Center funds, the government funds a Scientology Center church that believes in extraterrestrials. So then when he wrote that, I thought in the title, I said, man, you know what? They must just now be waking up to the fact that that's what Scientology is all about, right? Do you truly know what you're supporting? That you're masking yourself to be some helpful thing out there in the community when truly you're not. And it says an anti-drug center in Sonora, financed with public money, adheres to the ideas of a church that believes in aliens and is against psychiatry. They are not specialists in the matter and would have no reason to be given public financing, warns a specialist. So specialists are speaking out, right? They're talking about Zeta. Somebody must have found out. They said, listen, we found out. We found out what was going on. But I mean, they did a hit piece. You guys check it out, and let me put the link and you guys can translate it, read it, and you'll be like, yeah, this is what everybody's been talking about. I don't know. Ron L. Hubbard, what exactly does Narconon do? It is a highly effective program for rehabilitation, detoxification, and drug withdrawals, which uses techniques developed by L. Ron Hubbard. Narconon meaning no drugs. And there's also, is it Criminon? There's another one called Criminon too, by the way, which is another one that's ran by all of this. I just said, this is just too much. Maybe they're in competition to each other, and Scientology wants people to turn away from ANEXOS and trick addicts to Narconon. C87 you caught my drift. So that's why I said I can't do a recorded video. I have to do a live about this and talk it out with you guys, because every time I get stuck on something, if I get stuck on something and I just go live and say, I need to talk it out with you guys, because I know the little connections that Cher has with Scientology, but we don't know exactly what kind of facility Elijah was put into. And who's to say that Narconon also is not locking people up, because it's not regulated. And it looks like a nice facility from the outside, but we don't know. Provo Canyon, thank you. Provo Canyon was another one that was doing all kinds of shit to kids, right? We don't know. It does fall under a 501(c). You're absolutely right. But that's the thing, is like, how do we, unless Elijah says, I was in this facility and we know that it was endorsed or ran by or whatever, then we know. If you take part out, if you wait, what? If you take one stitch out of Cher, she veils. She does fall apart. She does fall apart. You don't need religion to be close to God. I couldn't agree with you more. I would agree with you on that one. I would agree with you on that one. So, but it was it, and like I said, shout out to the people that were defending Cher. This isn't about Cher. This is about, like, we have to be able to look beyond the celebrity, in my opinion. Maybe this is why I don't do a lot of celebrity news, because I don't know. Like, it's not, I'm not saying that she's not trying to get her son some level of help. I feel like what she's doing is wrong. It's the same with Britney Spears. What they did to that girl was wrong. Are you going to justify that? You could say the same about Britney Spears' dad. Are you going to justify that? No. We just don't know. I don't know her like that. I know Cher the celebrity, but I don't know her like that. Y'all know her? Thank you, Sarah, for the 99 cents, love. Thank you. Y'all know Cher? I don't know Cher. I just like I don't know Tom Cruise. We don't know them. They're just people. Okay? You were enlightened by the amount of Scientology. Oh, in the past 10 years in Mexico. Yes. See, Robin, and people are falling in for that shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to be careful. We got to be careful. It's an additional way to see something that is happening in front of us in a very public manner when it comes to celebrities going through things. That's how I see it. I just sent this. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Articulate. Cold turkey is scary. I had a family member almost die from having seizures during withdrawals. See, and they're not like regulated facilities. So if they have to detox, what they gonna do? Send you to a sauna? It's the same thing with an anexo. You detox, they put you in the fucking floor on an unregulated building. Who's keeping? Is there a doctor on site? Do you understand that if there's no regulations for an anexo, why the hell would there be one in a narconon? Why? Why would there be one there? It doesn't make sense. Exactly. And the thing is I don't know about you guys, and I'm not trying to speak for everybody in the Mexican Latino population, but drug abuse, there is this punitive approach to it. It is punitive to seek treatment. Sometimes, like, I wouldn't say that there's no empathy to it, but it's, how do I say this? Like, and maybe I'll speak for my family. Like, I've had drug addicts in my family, so I could speak a little bit to this. But um, it's almost like if you don't get the help when it's received, you're kind of SOL. Some people aren't ready to address their issues, and you have to kind of make what do with that. It sucks, but it's true. There are just people like my uncle was a huge rock star in the 50s. Ooh, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, all open for him. We forget he's famous till we saw him on TV. Wow. Flossie says, if you look at Cher, the parents, and how she was so supportive of Chaz's transition, I would guess she's a pretty supportive parent to her kids, says Flossie. I would say so too. I think I remember, to a certain degree. Let me just say that. I just don't know her personally. I remember the interview with, was it Oprah, Flossie, that she did, where she talked a little bit about her struggles with um, Chaz's transitions to a certain degree. I'm just trying to figure out, like, mm, does she know the extent? Because does she know everything that goes down there? Maybe he was locked up. Maybe we don't know. Maybe they told her what she wanted to hear. These are repressive rehab centers. Seem to have been common in the 80s and 90s. I've heard a lot of horror stories about cult-like rehabs from people who were there as choice between short prisons. I've heard them as well. And that the way in which they are ran, absolutely. Yes, Cher was not initially supportive of Shaz's transition. Not in I remember the interview with Oprah. I remember that. And she talked a little bit about that. And so it was interesting. I mean, and I said, I'm not going to do a pre-recorded video. I'm just going to do a live. I had started it and I was like, something doesn't land well for me in this one. And it's not that I just felt like I needed more to it because I felt a little lost. But at the same time, I understood, like, this is information we probably aren't going to find out. That's all. Hey, Aaron. Um, Cher makes a calculated public statements. What we see is what we see. It doesn't paint a picture without receipts. I would agree with you on that one too, Emily. I would agree. It says, oh yeah, if the court orders the treatment, you have no right to in those places. True. But I think I just don't, is the court going to order treatment in Mexico and then you come back and you say you're locked up? I mean, is it like, who's checking in on any of these things? Whether it's a narconon or if it's an anexo. We just don't know. You said Xenu's mass is crumbling, in my opinion. I honestly feel like the more and more I hear about Xenu and the people that are all involved in this Scientology stuff, it just seems like a lot of like rich celebrities that have some level of say or power and money and influence. And so they're able to get away with a lot of shit. So, yeah, you have more rights in prison than you do in rehab. Oh, there you go. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink it. Absolutely. From what I remember, what I have seen, they basically treat people worse than prisoners. The remedy would be a great info from. Yeah, I mean, and they did talk about treatment centers and whatnot. But I'm kind of it just thought I'd bring it up. I don't know, man. And like I said, in Narconon, we've had a couple of deaths. There was this, let me see if I could pull it. Narco. Here we go. Was it NBC, CNBC that did a hit piece on them too? And they have their own little websites. I just don't get it. Why they, oh, I misspelled it. See, I knew I misspelled it. Narconon. Let me see if I could put it up. I want to understand what treatment he was in. Here, is it this one? Absolute fraud. NBC Rock Center Part 2. Is it this one?
Suspicious deaths at a drug treatment center. It's run by Narconon. If you've seen our previous reporting, then you know Narconon has strong ties to the Church of Scientology. Many patients say the program has helped them with their addictions, but Harry Smith...
And you know what's funny is I had somebody in the comments say that they were helped by Narconon. I mean, if it helped you, great. Just know what you're getting yourself into.
Reporting prompted 2 former Narconon executives to step out of the shadows. Tonight, they join Harry to share their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
If you're about to send one of your loved ones to Narconon Arrowhead, should you be concerned for their safety?
Absolutely. I would be concerned. I personally would never recommend to anybody that they should send their loved one to Narconon.
This is Lucas Catton, the former president of Narconon Arrowhead, a drug rehabilitation center located in a remote area of Oklahoma. Last year, we reported on 3 young people who died there within 9 months.
Seems like it was just yesterday.
Shirley Gillum's son, Gabriel, died at Narconon in October 2011. The cause of death could not be determined.
Did you feel like they were completely forthcoming with you on the phone in terms of who they were,
No.
what their procedures were?
No.
Gillum says she is filled with sorrow and regret about sending Gabriel to Narconon.
I just wished that I had not taken him there. I wish that
Oh, man.
with everything inside me.
Catton and his former colleague Eric Tenorio, both executives who cut ties with Narconon 3 years ago, say though no one died on their watch, they feel compelled to speak out about what they say are the program's failings.
We did the story last summer of 3 different young people who died at Arrowhead. Did you see the story?
I did. And I felt terrible about it. Could have been prevented. Absolutely every single one of those deaths. If those families would have gotten the truth about what they were getting into, they would have absolutely not have sent their families there. And I apologize,
Narconon. And what were they getting into? Catton and Tenorio say a crash course in Scientology. Patients are called students, and they study a series of 8 books based on the writings of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard.
They can confront their own problems and solve their own problems, and so bring themselves up by their own bootstraps.
Narconon promotes itself as a non-medical rehabilitation program. Its methods include 5 hours a day in a sauna for 30 straight days and mega doses of the vitamin niacin, all part of a larger system of life skills training that Narconon says has helped tens of thousands lead drug-free lives.
You were taught in Hubbard's language that you are the expert in mental health.
This is Lucas Catton as a young man. He arrived at Narconon as a patient in 1998 when he was 20 years old. His parents were concerned he was drinking too much. He had a job there as a counselor in 2000 and quickly worked his way up to president. At the time and for years afterwards, he believed the program was helpful and gave this 2009 testimonial to the Church of Scientology.
There is not a more comprehensive rehabilitation program available.
What do you guys think? You said that's insane. But they don't believe in psychiatry. They don't believe, sauna treatments. What is it? Niacin? Is that what they said? Supplements. Yeah. I don't know. Wait a minute. Arrowhead is still out there? Yes, I think so. They have. My understanding. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? So I used to be into the source from the same area. You said it's money, and so just imagine if that they're doing this in Mexico, how much this is costing for them as well. It flushes you. So why don't you just turn on the heater or just go to your local sauna and do your like it just doesn't make sense. You're paying for all of this. I shout out to all my recovering addicts. Thank you guys for being here. I mean, y'all let me know your thoughts. Rachel says, "Wow, I'm a recovering addict and never heard of Narconon. It's madness. What the heck?" So that's where I'm stuck. I'd like to know, since we have so many facility of these in Mexico, was he in an ANEXO? Was he in a Narconon? Was he in a different kind of facility? That's kind of where I'm at, whether Elijah was there. And anybody can lock you in if you're there. Like, truly, that's what they could do that. Cher could do that if she wanted to do that. Any family member can be locked in. Anybody. I don't believe she's a Scientology, says Dawn. Because we'll see. I don't know. I'd see, and I got stuck, and I said, I gotta tell people. Look how creepy old lady says, how can anyone look at L. Ron Hubbard and not see evil? I don't know, man.
That Narconon. In this process, while you were at Narconon, did you become a Scientologist?
I did. I became a full-fledged Scientologist, absolutely. I dedicated all of my time, life, money, everything was dedicated toward the purpose of advancing Scientology's aims. That is what you're doing at Narconon, is you're advancing the aims of Scientology.
From your perspective, and you were the president of Narconon Arrowhead, does the Church of Scientology use Narconon as a way to recruit new members?
Absolutely it does.
The other main objective of Narconon.
And there's pictures out there, by the way, by that hit piece, okay, that shows them promoting. Here it is. Look at this. They covered his eyes, but promotes Narconon supposed success stories. This is a man. Here's the L. Ron Hubbard books. There you go. And they're promoting the success stories. That was the hit piece.
Says was to pull in millions of dollars in revenue. The 3 to 6 month program cost $30,000 per patient.
So therefore, you're willing to either lie to them or misrepresent who you are, or take people who aren't really qualified, anything to bring in the money to keep the facility going week after week after week.
In a statement to NBC News, the Church of Scientology said the cost of Narconon is comparable to other addiction treatment programs. Eric Tenorio also came to Narconon as a patient in 1996. Upon completing the program, he, like Catton, got hired on as staff. He, too...
Thank you. Yeah, Annie, I fixed it. I said Narconon. I was saying it wrong. I was missing the A.
Became a Scientologist and gave this 2008 testimonial to the church.
There's no way that I would have got to the point where I am right now if it wasn't for the Narconon program.
He worked his way up the ladder at Arrowhead and in 2004 took a position as executive director at Narconon's Freedom Center in Michigan.
If you're on the staff at Narconon, beyond the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard, is there any instruction whatsoever in terms of your dealing with people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol?
None.
Zero.
Tenorio showed us official-looking certificates he received as a quote-unquote certified alcohol and drug counselor in Michigan. They came from an organization called the Pitta Group, run by a...
That is I don't know. And I mean, it just, like I said, one thing I noticed, because it's not just Narconon, there's Criminon too. That's another Scientology program. Criminon research studies. They basically are and it's funded by, like, the U.S. Department of Justice programs actually talks about Criminon. Criminon is also a Scientology I had no idea about this one. Criminon is, let me show you guys. Criminon, which means no crimes, and means no crime, is an international nonprofit organization dedicated to the rehabilitation of criminals by addressing why a person turns to a life of crime. Largely, when the criminal to be loses his self-respect, Criminon provides education and rehabilitation programs for inmates and ex-offenders, helping them to restore their self-respect. By making them responsible for their actions, involving people in the criminal justice system can become more ethical and productive citizens. Criminon utilizes, here it is, Criminon utilizes the research of the author and humanitarian L. Ron Hubbard, who personally worked as a special officer for the Los Angeles Police Department in the late 1940s. So it's every fucking where. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I didn't know about this program. It's everywhere. So, and when I saw it in the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, okay, so this is saying it's everywhere. This is why I tell y'all, it's like this. If you have a specific diet, you're reading your fucking ingredients to make sure that there might be, say that you're gluten-free or something. That's how you should be looking at this. Read your ingredients and see who is what behind what. I had no idea about this one. No idea. So this is why I sit there and I'm like, I'm trying not to speculate, but I can't help but speculate in certain areas. Emily, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, right? Yeah, Criminon, and it's a real thing too. Like it's a real thing. There are people out there just, I don't know, Xeno is everything, being protected and funded by the US government. I don't know. It's all connected and interrelated. It's important to shine the light on it. That's all. Let me tell you. So, like I said, once I started looking into the Elijah and Cher story, and like I said, I am not. This isn't to drag the woman. I don't know the woman, the celebrity. Okay, I truly don't. But I do know what I know based on what I've read. That she had a fling with Tom Cruise. She was married to Sonny Bono, who was a Scientologist for 12 years. She might have denounced Scientology at some point in her life. I'm not really sure, but she had something to do with her son being sent to Mexico for treatment. And in that treatment, he's down there allegedly in a cage for so many, many months. We don't know if the center was an ANEXO or a Narconon center. These are things that we have to kind of ask questions about. The Mexican government, the people of Mexico are calling out the fact that this facility doesn't believe in psychiatry, and even they see an issue with that. So yeah, like let's amplify the things that we see, whether it's Cher or whatever other fucking celebrity it is. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Sarah, thank you again for the 99 cents. Shout out to you. DB, thank you for gifting members. That's just my thought. Can we be wrong for that? Can we be wrong for calling it out, for noticing things and stuff like that? And it's so crazy because I gotta show you guys what I posted. And people were like, is this about Trump? No, this is not about Trump. Okay. So I know that this specific photo, hold up, let me see if I can put it up. It's an anexo, right? Pero para dejar de defender el peje, it's to stop defending the government. So somebody did, this is a created meme, and it was like, the meme is basically saying we're creating an anexo to stop defending the government, the leaders, and people automatically assume that it was pertaining to Trump. And I said, no, it's not. It's truly about the fact that people are there defending the Mexican government and the politics versus really paying attention to the people, which is what matters the most. Just like in the US, the people matter. People get caught up in the politics of everything when we are in trouble here, right? And we need to start paying attention to our people and what they need versus all this political crap. That's just how I am. I don't do politics because then I get into different rabbit holes, and I don't like doing that. You will never go to Mexico again. Too much. It is, Leisha. It's not the same. I used to go to Mexico all the time. Let's see. You would need someone there who's giving patients water and fruit. Absolutely. Yeah, I think they were married for like 12 years. So she absolutely divorced Sonny in 1974, decades before he was associated with Scientology. So Flossie, did he become a Scientologist after their marriage or before? Because there was an article where, because I know Sonny Bono got into like politics afterwards. He was trying to get out before his death. He's trying to get out of Scientology before his death. So I know that was a thing too. We don't know who is part of the cult, but we know the government supports it. Well, there you go. Okay. Yes, I got that comment, but I'm kind of wondering, they were married for 12 years. Okay, so did he When did he get involved in the cult? Was it after their divorce? Just curious. You would need someone there who's giving patients food and water. Absolutely. Criminon is an inclusive recovery fellowship of individuals who share their experience, strengths, and hopes with each other that they may solve their common problems and recovery. Are you copying and pasting the thing, Annie? Let me know. There's over 30 plus anonymous groups, including workaholics. There's a group for pretty much anything, including workaholics. Yes, everything. Everything. Yeah, go do your homework on Sonny Bono. He was a Scientologist before he died, but Flossie said in the chat, shout out to Flossie, who said, Cher was they were divorced before he became a Scientologist. I don't know. At some point, and I even think that when she dated Tom Cruise, I don't know if he was a full-on Scientologist, but there's some connections there. It's just, whether they dated, they divorced, something is there. And some people, in my opinion, Jada Pinkett Smith is a closeted Scientologist. She may never say it, but I personally do think that she's a closeted Scientologist. It's like, yes. Anyone is Scientologist? I don't think they're going to admit it, Shanna. Because of the second wife, Mary. That's right. I think, was Mary a Scientologist too, Flossie? Mm-hmm. Yep. It was after their marriage, says Darlene. Okay, cool. There's that too. I know there was, hold up, let me see if I can pull it up before I head out. Sonny Bono. There was, and this was like 1999. Yep, here it is. Is this it? Oh, yeah, this is 1999. He said that, okay, this is the wife who said, Sonny did try to break away at one point, and they made it difficult for him. This was Scientology. She recalled of a California book tour in 1991 during which the church members paid a visit to Bono at his hotel. Extremely difficult. I was resentful of that. I did not like the fact that he said, "Hey, I'm done with it. I'm not a Scientologist." And they were saying, "Hey, you can't do that." He was amazed and I was upset. Sonny even tried to get his mother to join when she was 73, but Gene Bono, now 85, scoffed at the idea. He said, it'll be good for you, Gene Bono says. He said, you just have to have faith. He was brainwashed. Yeah, that's sad. So I think that I think it was Catholic before being a Scientologist. But they made no official statement. This was in 1999. He tried to get out. So in 1998, he had that accidental skiing death. The Church of Scientology asked if their president could preside over the service, but lost out to the Catholic Church, said George. George reports. I don't know. He was trying to get out. He was trying to get out, man. Yes. Thank you, love, for telling everybody to hit that like button. Thank you, Flossie, for clarifying. I'm not suggesting if you're surrounded by Scientologists, it may seem like more of a reasonable choice that if you hear about it from an outsider, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm having to head out because I got to go tend to baby Bunny. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to just kind of verbal vomit to everybody. Just my thoughts, because I was really having a hard time with this one. I said, I'm just going to do a quick live about it and just tell the people what I think. Shout out to you guys and let me know what you guys think. Do you guys feel like Elijah was put in a Narconon facility, an ANEXO, or some kind of, like, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? I'm just, or maybe it was just a regular facility. Let me know your thoughts. You all feel like there's more ties to Cher in Scientology, although some of you guys said that's not necessarily the case. But let me know your guys' thoughts. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. You guys have a great one. Rabbits out.